What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Mid-Level Media. We are here to do the January Blu-ray and 4K tier list. So all of the new release titles that I watched in the month of January, we are going to talk about in this video. I'm going to put them on my tier list ranking. And yeah, I like doing these as just kind of a catch-up for the month, a look back at all the titles that came out, and a celebration, really, of those titles in the month of January for physical media. So yeah, just a casual laid back video. I'm going to tier rank these. I don't know where I'm going to put some of this stuff. I probably have a good idea where I'm going to put it, but I don't predetermine these tier rankings. I don't really know where I'm going to put stuff until I get to talking about them. But before we get into it, like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that stuff already. And let me make this image a little bit bigger. So as you can see, I watched quite a few titles in the month of January. I actually watched 19 new releases that came out in the month of January. So there you go. It's just tons of stuff. Second Sight, Arrow Video, Screen Factory releases, Kino releases, studio releases, Synapse releases. I feel like I covered a lot of the bases. There was a lot of boutique stuff that came out in the month of January, not as much studio stuff. So but yeah, how these work, I've got three, or no, not three, sorry guys, five tier categories. I've got best of the year, I've got really awesome, I've got good, I've got just okay, and then I've got don't bother. And again, I'll talk about these, in depth as I put them in various spots. Because some of these I did full reviews for. I might not talk about those as much. And some of these I didn't get to talk about at all on the channel. So I'm excited to talk about them for the first time here today. All right, do we have everything out of the way? Is everything out of the way? All the housekeeping. Let's get into it, guys. The tier ranking for the month of January 2024. What are we going to start with? Let's start with the Radiance Films title. And I'm really liking this stuff that Radiance is doing recently. They're doing some good work. And we're going to start with The Facts of Murder. You hate the good, you hate the bad, The Facts of Murder. I I don't even think I ever watched The Facts of Life, but that song is definitely stuck in my head. This is tough. I thought this was a really good movie. I enjoyed the movie. I don't know if I can put it in awesome. There was new special features though. There were some really good special features on the director. I believe there was like a documentary, or not a document, just like a making of. There was like a director retrospective, if I'm remembering correctly. So there was some good features on here. This wasn't a 4K, it was a Blu-ray, but the Blu-ray looked really great. Like the Blu-ray looked awesome. Like Radiance does a really good job of their transfers. Um, God, I think the price on this is like $22.99. I'm sorry, guys. Some of these prices fluctuate. I'll try to give my best information on the prices throughout, but um, I'm struggling with this. I really am. Look, I'm gonna land on really awesome. I think this was an awesome release. The movie was good. The transfer was spectacular for a Blu-ray release. I believe was a 4K scan. Good amount of special features. I like the packaging on the Radiance Film releases. There was a nice little booklet inside as well. And for the price, I think it's a really good. I think it's a really awesome. I wish there was somewhere between really awesome and good. That's where I would put this, but I think really awesome. It works for this as well. This was a really good release from Radiance Films. The Facts of Murder. Nice little. I don't get into the crime Italian films as much, or I haven't watched as many of those. I love, giallos, spaghetti westerns, but I haven't gotten into the crime subgenre of Italian films. And I need to watch more of those. But this was a really good, engaging one for sure. Varsity Blues. I'll put this in the good. I did a review on this one. I love this movie. I love this movie. It's one of my favorites from my childhood. The 4K was good, not great. Really good picture quality. I enjoyed watching the movie on 4K. It was certainly better than the Blu-ray. Pretty good upgrade, I would say. But there was nothing new in terms of special features. It's just, regular slipcover packaging. The price was definitely good, but I can't get this one into really awesome. Even though I love the movie, I would love to, but the transfer wasn't just like super fantastic. It wasn't mind-blowing or anything. It was just okay, this is a pretty good 4K and no special features. So I think good is appropriate for Varsity Blues. All right, so let's do Suitable Flesh. This is my first Don't Bother, and I wonder if I'm going to be able to use all of these categories here today. Suitable Flesh, I did not enjoy. I wanted to. It's got Barbara Crampton in it. I love Barbara Crampton. I love Heather Graham. And I just I couldn't get into this one. I couldn't vibe with the tone. I couldn't get with the story. It was incredibly boring. It was long. It felt long. Like I don't think the movie was long, but it felt like it was like 2.5 hours. And I get it. It was a love letter to Stuart Gordon films like From Beyond, like Reanimator. But if you're gonna make a real love letter to that stuff, to those type of films, then make the movie good and actually live up to the legacy of those movies, which is incredibly hard to live up to Stuart Gordon films. But I just thought it was boring. Parts of it felt like a Lifetime original film. The acting was atrocious, and I just didn't like it at all. There was some good special features on it, so if you watched it on Shutter, because I think it was a Shutter original, and you enjoyed it, I would say that maybe do bother. I would move it up to just okay. If you enjoy the movie, you may want to get it. It's only 14 bucks, 14, 15 bucks. But only if you watched it already and you enjoyed it. If you didn't watch it yet, I would say don't bother. I did not enjoy the movie at all. No slipcover either, which I'm sick of RLJE and their let's put a slipcover on everything. And then all of a sudden we're not going to do slipcovers. I know slipcovers people don't care about them. Some people don't. I do. So that matters to me. Suitable Flesh. Okay. You're going and don't bother. Sorry. The Raid Redemption, the 4K Steelbook. I'm struggling with this one as well. No new special features, but there are some good features. I really like the Steelbook. I really like this movie. The movie was kick-ass. The transfer was really good. I thought the transfer was really good. It's definitely better than Varsity Blue. So I'll put the Raid Redemption in really awesome. I think I feel comfortable doing Raid Redemption really awesome. It was a really awesome movie. All right, so the Coffin Joe set. To be completely honest, I think this is a really awesome release. If I had watched everything, if I experienced all the materials, but I only watched 3 of the movies. I need to dive into more of them. And to be honest, I was kind of lukewarm on those movies at best. Um, but I will say this is down to like 69.99. I'll try to link all these releases down below in the description if you guys want to pick these up. I think this is 69.99. It's back in stock. There was a disc issue, but they are going to fix that. They launched a disc replacement program. The packaging's great. The packaging's definitely great. I don't know if I can get the entire release and really awesome, but I kind of want to. It's really cool they did something like this. Brazilian horror films. A lot of them haven't ever went past DVD. Some of them VHS. So that's cool and something to be applauded. A lot of good features on this as well. I'll put this in really awesome. I think it is a really awesome release. I think if I had experienced all the movies, maybe I would have put it there. But and the scans are really good as well by Arrow Video. It's just that one problem with the subtitles on I think Awakening of the Beast. So good price too, $69.99. That might not be in effect after the Barnes and Noble sale's over with. And as I'm filming this, that's still going on. But when I drop this, it won't be. But the Raid Redemption, speaking of prices, that went back in stock or that lowered on Amazon to $32.99. So you might want to check that one out if you haven't yet. I know I complained about the price in the review. All right, let's talk about Blood Feast from Synapse Films. This is a 4K release. This may surprise you. God, what do I do with Blood Feast? Um, I'm struggling with this one. I thought the movie was pretty good. It's not great. It's a gore fest though for sure. What Blood Feast reminded me of was like the 2000s era Saw, Hostel, like that era of horror. This movie came out, I think, in 2016, 2017. So I think it was a little bit too late because by that time we were into the more atmospheric horror films, supernatural stuff like The Conjuring, and we weren't watching as many torture porn movies like Blood Feast. So it is kind of a throwback to the Hostels and stuff like that. It's got the guy from Nightmare on Elm Street 2. I'm blanking on his name right now. And it's also got Caroline Williams in it as well, who plays his wife. And damn it, I can't think of his name. I wish I would have brought these releases. Robert Russler, I think is his name. They were really good in it. I actually thought Robert Russler was really good in the movie. And it was pretty entertaining throughout. Again, lots of good gore. Like there was one scene I was like, "Holy crap! I can't believe they did this." And I thought it was a really good 4K. It really looked awesome. And Synops always does a good job. Some decent features on this as well. I like the slipcover. It's got reversible cover art on the inside as well. You know what? I'm talking myself into putting this in good. I thought this was a good release. I watched it the other night and I was actually pretty entertained by the film. I think it deserves good. So I'm going to put Blood Feast on 4K in good. And I don't think it came with a Blu-ray, it just came with a 4K. All right, so let's talk about Mean Streets. I definitely thought this was a really awesome release. I heard some complaints about Mean Streets on 4K. Actually, I thought Mean Streets on 4K looked pretty damn good throughout. I enjoyed the transfer on it quite a bit. Some people that were complaining about it, they were complaining about the color timing. And I don't really get into that whole thing, guys. I just, I saw Mean Streets for the first time a few years ago on Netflix. And I didn't watch it on VHS and DVD or in the theater back in 1974 because or 73 because I wasn't alive. So I don't pay attention to the color timing, how it changes over time. I've only seen the movie a handful of times. So I thought it looked really good. For my eyes, I was really happy with the Mean Streets transfer. There's some really good features on this release as well. The box set is awesome. Is it a best of the year release? Is it a best of the year release? I don't know if I can quite get it to best of the year. It was a really good transfer, but I don't know if I can quite get it to best of the year. Mean Streets is really awesome, though. I feel comfortable putting it there. Murphy's War, I watched this the other night. This is an Arrow Video release, and I feel comfortable putting this in good. I enjoyed the movie. It's an adventure wartime flick. It's got Peter O'Toole in it, and I thought he was really good in the movie. He's in Lawrence of Arabia as well. And I believe this is after Lawrence of Arabia. It's in I think 1971, so the early 70s, and it's got some really like awesome flight sequences in it, where he's like trying to teach himself how to fly the plane that I thought were really entertaining and thrilling. It's a good story. It in the way it ends up is not how I expected, but it makes sense for the story. How he would stop at nothing to take out this German U-boat, and it ultimately led to um I don't want to spoil it, guys, but Murphy's War, I was entertained by the movie. I thought the Blu-ray transfer by Arrow Video was really solid. I thought it looked really good. This movie had an indicator release, I believe, and I think back in 2022 it had indicator Blu-ray, but this is the first time in the US it's being put out on Blu-ray. But that indicator release had 3 new special features, and they actually got those features to put them on this Arrow Video release, which is pretty cool. And there was a brand new feature on the Arrow Video release. So there's pretty much 4 new features on here if you don't have that indicator release. So that's definitely cool. And again, enjoyed the movie. Sound was really good as well. And yeah, Murphy's War. I feel comfortable putting that in good. I think that's a solid release in the month of January. All right, High Tension on 4K. I really like this release. This had a ton of special features. Um, I thought the transfer was really solid as well. And I love the movie. I think it's a great horror movie. I feel comfortable putting this in really awesome. The only thing I was a little disappointed by, and I actually have High Tension right here with me, so I will show it off real quick. Let me change the camera around. The only thing I was a little disappointed by, and this is, a very small issue, but I just thought it was just a very thin second sight, and I was anticipating something a little bit thicker. But it's better for shelf space, right? But when you get those second sights, you like those big chunky releases like Mean Streets. But the High Tension 4K is very thin, but it's got a nice booklet in it, and it's a really awesome release. I love the movie. I love having a release like that for a movie like High Tension. I think that's super cool. But yeah, High Tension, really awesome release. All right, let's talk about where are we going to go next. Let's go back to Scream Factor. Let's knock out the 4 Scream Factor releases I have right here. We'll start with Unlawful Entry. This one is tough. This one's tough. I love this movie so much. I did a short on this one. I'm going to put it in good right now. There's 3 new special features. There's one with the director, which is really good, kind of going back through his filmography. Um, I really like that special feature. The movie's great. My only issue with it is that Scream Factory just didn't do the release justice. Like it doesn't look good. Like it just doesn't. Like even for a Blu-ray, it doesn't look great. It's pretty much the same scan, or not the yeah, it's pretty much the same scan they're using on streaming. Like if you look on Tubi, it says that Shout Factory owns the Tubi transfer. Um, so it's pretty much the exact same as watching it on Tubi, only it's probably got a stronger bit rate on physical than it does streaming. But, I just don't get it. I don't get why I not even a 4K. We didn't need a 4K. I would have loved the 4K, but we didn't need it. But a 4K scan would have been great. And that movie would have looked great with a 4K scan. There's so much incredible detail that they could have fleshed out with that movie. I'm thinking of those nightclub scenes. Like that stuff would have looked excellent. I just didn't think the picture quality was great. It wasn't even that good, even for a Blu-ray. So that's my big problem with it. And, I hate to get hung up on slipcovers, but this was a $30 site exclusive release on Screen Factory. It should have never been that. It should have been available on Amazon. You should have put a nice collector's edition slipcover on it and 4K scan. Like, I don't get it. How do you not know what you have? As Screen Factory, somebody that does this for a living, how do you not know what you have? Give this a 4K scan. It's got freaking Kurt Russell in it. It's got Ray Liotta, Madeline Stowe. These were stars in the 90s. I know I heard some people say, well, Kurt Russell wasn't a huge star in the 90s. Okay. Andy Garcia is. How does Andy Garcia get a 4K scan on his Blu-ray release, which we'll talk about Jennifer 8 here in a second? But Ray Liotta and Kurt Russell, like Kurt Russell may have not been a big star in the 90s. He certainly has a legacy now, especially amongst physical media fans. Like we love The Thing, we love all of Kurt Russell's stuff in this space. So Big Trouble Little China, he's an icon at this point, a legend. You're telling me you don't know that movie's going to sell? Like, give me a freaking break, Scream Factory. But I can't get it above good. It's really tough. Like if it would have been a good scan, I could have got it to really awesome. Like maybe I could have got it to best of the year because I love the movie and there's really some great features in it. It just sucks that transfer just brings it down. But let me know if you agree in the comment section below. Cutting Class. I like this movie quite a bit. I thought it was a really entertaining slasher movie. It's got Brad Pitt in it, and it's kind of in the same vein as those high school, horror movies like Class of 1984. Class of 1984, like it's not really a horror film, but it kind of is. It kind of plays in that genre. I like these kind of high school horror movies I'm discovering. There's another one I'm forgetting. The Invisible Maniac is a high school horror movie. There's another one that I'm forgetting, but I like this one quite a bit. I thought it was pretty entertaining. Brad Pitt's first role, one of his first roles. The 4K looked great. I thought MVD Rewind did a great job on the transfer for that. Looked freaking stunning. You got the Blu-ray in this as well. Some good features. Most of the features are from that Vinegar Syndrome release. I don't think they added anything new. There may have been new commentary, but I think this is tough. I'll keep it in good. It's a really good. It's not like a great movie, but it was a fun movie. One I had fun with. The transfer is really great. Good features, but there's not new features. I like the packaging. You know what? Same thing with Facts of Murder. I'll put this one in really awesome. I did like Cutting Class quite a bit, and there's really no big negatives to it other than there's not a lot of new features, but there are features in it from the Vinegar Syndrome release that came out just a couple of years ago. So Cutting Class is really good. I enjoyed it. All right, look, let's talk about the Conan movies. I'm putting both of these in best of the year. And, I know some people got these as a set, the Conan Chronicles, but I got them separate. And Conan the Barbarian, I think we're going to look back, and a lot of people are going to lump these together as the Conan Chronicles. But I think that when we get to the end of 2024 and you start to see people's best of the year lists, I think that the Conan Chronicles is going to be on most people's top 5, top 10, top 15, whatever list they do. I truly believe that these are almost untouchable releases in 2024 they're going to carry all the way through the year. People are going to remember these releases because of how great they are, because of how great they look, because of how fun the movies are. I really, really love these movies. Great Schwarzenegger fantasy epic films. You know, Barbarian's a little bit better as a film than The Destroyer, but I had a lot of fun with Destroyer. Really loved that one. The 4Ks were excellent. The special features are insane. Barbarian alone has like 10 new features in it, and they're all excellent. Commentaries, new commentaries. You got like 5 or 6 new features on Destroyer. You got older documentaries. Like they just threw everything in these. You got booklets, just kind of explaining the films and taking you through a bunch of stories and notes from the movies. And these are just really great packaging. Like I've seen the Conan Chronicles set up close. It's great packaging. These individually are great packaging. So I cannot put these anywhere else other than best of the year. I thought they were both great. Conan the Barbarian is a benchmark release. I would say with all those features, that's one of the best releases I've ever seen since doing this, since starting this channel. It might make like top 5 or something. That's such an incredible release. It's not even funny. And these things are selling out. Like I think the Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer are like $60 on Amazon. Like they're selling out. So find a way to get these if you haven't yet for a cheap price, because in a year or so or 6 months or so, like these aren't going to be available to get. You're going to be able to get standard editions, but like you want these chunky box sets. Such great editions. Oh my God, I love them so much. So best of the year for the Conan movies for sure. Let's talk about Carrie on 4K. And God, I hate to do it again. Do I put Carrie in really in best of the year? This is tough because this already got a release back in 2022. That Scream Factory release, the transfer was really good. I will say I did a short on this as well. The Carrie Arrow video runs at a higher bit rate, I noticed. So it is a slightly cleaner transfer. It does look a little bit sharper and better than the 2022 Scream Factory, but I don't think the average person is really going to notice too much of a difference with it. But it is great packaging. It is Carrie. I love the artwork. It's got a nice booklet in it, which the Scream Factory sure as hell doesn't. It's got a new, not a new audio commentary, but it's got an audio commentary that's not on that Scream Factory release. So it's a much better release than the, not a much better, but a better release than the Scream Factory release. And I would put the Scream Factory release in best of the year in 2022. So why wouldn't I put this in best of the year in 2024? So that's the dilemma that I'm in right now. But I'm gonna do it. I don't care. Carrie is an all-time great movie. 5 out of 5. Love this film. So I'm gonna keep it there. Boogans, whatever you want to call it on 4K. This is we got 2 don't bothers, guys. This is a don't bother. This is a don't bother. Um, I thought I did not like this movie. it was really, it was really, it was kind of a snooze fest. Like there's some moments of tension throughout. It's about this group of miners that unlock a certain part of the mine, and it releases these things called, they don't ever call them boogans, but these creatures, and they snatch people and they take them back to the mines. And you don't always see what happens to them. So a lot of the kills are off screen. Couple kills are on screen when you get more towards the final act. But it was a very unsatisfying ending when you saw the creatures. I'll just say that. Imagine like, because I feel like this came out in 1980, so everybody was trying to use the Jaws model. Don't show the monster till the end. Imagine that you don't see Jaws until the very end, and then when you see him, he's like a deformed goldfish or something like that. That's what the Boogans is like. Characters were extremely dull. Um, I did not enjoy the movie, and the transfer for it being a 4K, it's one of the weakest I've seen. It's one of the weakest I've seen. Kino Lorber does great transfers. I don't know what happened. Maybe the source material was just crap, but that HDR wasn't doing that movie. Dolby Vision wasn't doing that movie no favors. It looked bland, boring. Did the picture quality? And there were some parts that looked pretty crisp. Like it looked okay, but Yeah, one of the worst 4K transfers I've seen so far this year. And you don't hear me say that a lot about Kino Lorber. And I don't think it was their fault. I just think it was the source material. Maybe it was a 4K they just should have never done. Maybe they should have released it on Blu-ray and been done with it. As far I think there's a maybe a new audio commentary on it. I honestly don't remember. I think there is a new audio commentary on it, but that's pretty much it in terms of special features. I like the slip cover, and it does have reversible cover art on the inside as well, which is pretty cool. But beyond that, I can't put the Boogans anywhere other than don't bother. Don't get it because it's like $30 or $27.99 or whatever it is, and it's just not worth it. I'm just now noticing I said I was going to run through the Scream Factory titles. I only did one. Funeral Home is one that I'll say is just okay. There we have it, guys. We got one in every category now. Just okay for Funeral Home. The Blu-ray did not look very good at all. There was like a flickering effect that was going on in it. But again, that kind of goes back to what I was saying with the Boogans or the Boojans. It's a source material problem. I'm sure that movie, I don't think it ever been released on anything other than VHS. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't ever think it got a DVD. Because I think a lot of people were saying that was a long awaited movie to the disc format. But it's about I don't want to spoil it, but the movie reminded me of Psycho. I'll just say that, which might be a spoiler in and of itself. But and I did think that the grandmother was very good. I thought she gave a very good performance, but the movie itself, just like the Boojans, is just very bland, very boring. I didn't like any of the characters. They all deserve to die. And it's just a very slow there again, some moments of tension, some atmosphere here and there. I didn't think it was as bad as the Boojans because there was some interesting stuff there with the grandmother, and the twist at the end was pretty good. Um, but Funeral Home, it's got some new special features. It's got new audio commentaries, so that's definitely cool. I'm not going to put it in Don't Bother, but it is just an okay release to me. All right, let's talk about Jennifer 8. This is definitely a Don't Bother. Definitely, this was over 2 hours long. It's got Andy Garcia, Uma Thurman. It was interesting to see a younger Uma Thurman, in the movie. You know what? I got to move this into Just Okay. I'll move this in Just Okay. It's not a terrible movie. Lance Hendrickson is pretty good in it. I liked him, but Andy Garcia, I don't even have any idea. I've only seen him in this and The Godfather 3. Um, and maybe another movie. I can't remember, but I don't know how he became like a star of any kind, or enough to lead a movie. He's incredibly bland and boring, lacking of any charisma. Lance Hendrickson, thank God, has all the charisma, and it kind of led that movie for a little bit. But just a story that starts off interesting, like I was into it, but at a certain point, you're just like, okay, like give me something to like latch onto and like lead me along or actually have some kind of entertainment value. And it doesn't. And the ending is just so unsatisfying and it just comes out of nowhere. And I just didn't enjoy it. I thought it was a very bland, boring thriller for the most part. But the 4K scan that Jennifer 8 got, that to be honest, this should be reversed with unlawful entry, was great. It looked great. Like the 4K scan looked great. The picture quality was excellent. Sound was really good as well. And it had a good amount of special features on it also. So I'll say there's some really good qualities about it. Pretty much everything's good other than the movie, which you want the movie to be good, right? But some people may like it. I'll put that. I feel comfortable putting it in Just Okay. Thinner is a good release. It is a good release. I can't get it up to really awesome. I kind of want to. I don't know. Should I put it in really awesome? It looked really good on Blu-ray. It was the first time I ever seen it on Blu-ray because I never got the All of Films release. It looked really good on Blu-ray. It did look good. I enjoy this movie a lot. Directed by Tom Holland. I enjoyed this Stephen King movie a lot. I've been watching it since I was a kid. I do recommend it. It's got 2 new audio commentaries, 3 new features. I like the packaging, even though it's simply just the poster, but I think that works. You know what? I'm talking myself into it. Really awesome for Thinner on Blu-ray. I enjoyed that release. I thought it was a really good release. I did review it, so go check out that review if you missed it. And lastly, We got Kindergarten Cop, which I will also put in really awesome. I just reviewed this one on the channel. I thought the picture quality was excellent. I love the movie. To me, some people may disagree, but it's an all-timer. Like I think it's one of Arnold's best, and I just love it so much. And the transfer, like I couldn't find a fault in it. I thought the 4K looked excellent, like all throughout. I thought Kino did a great job cleaning that movie up. Certainly better than the Blu-ray. The only thing you can knock it for is the lack of special features, but it does have new features. It does have 2 new audio commentaries, just doesn't have any interviews or featurettes or anything like that, which some people really like, and I get it, but it does have 2 new audio commentaries, so you can't say it doesn't have any new features, and to be honest, that's what Kino does. Like, Kino doesn't do a lot of newly produced special features. They really don't at all. They always just port over what's available, so they're consistent in that way. Like, that's what they usually always do. This movie just doesn't have special features, and it never had. So that's kind of the battle they were fighting. They didn't have special features, so they could only do the audio commentaries because that's what they do. So I don't know if I can really fault Kino that much for that. But picture quality, guys, audio, all that stuff was great. Kindergarten Cop was a really awesome release. So there you have it, guys. Oh, I usually rank these, don't I? So Barbarian is definitely number 1. Destroyer is definitely number 2. Carrie number 3. And we'll go ahead and I'll move Mean Streets number 4 because I was really conflicted. I almost put that in best of the year. Mean Streets number 4. I will do High Tension. That had some really good features too. Number 6, The Raid Redemption. Or no, High Tension's number 5. Raid Redemption's number 6. Kindergarten Cop. You know what? I want to move Kindergarten Cop up to number 6. Raid Redemption's number 7. Thinner can be number 8. Cutting Class can be number 9. Facts of Murder can be 10. Coffin Joe can be 11. Varsity Blues 12. I feel comfortable there. Unlawful Entry 13. Blood Feast 14. Murphy's War 15. Funeral Home. It really doesn't matter down here, guys. Funeral Home 16. Jennifer 8 17. Suitable Flesh 18. And the Boojins is 19. I'll put that at last because that was a 4K, and Suitable Flesh got some stuff right. I mean, the special features, and it looked good on Blu-ray, but the Boojins, just no excuse. So there you have it, guys. From the best to the worst, the best being Conan the Barbarian, the worst being the Boojins. I have tier ranked all the releases that I watched in the month of January. So this is a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but let me know in the comment section, guys. Give me some feedback. Do you want me to continue to do these types of videos? I enjoy doing this stuff. I like recapping what I got into for the month, and I think it's good for you guys that either didn't want to watch my reviews, didn't watch my reviews, or, you know, the stuff that I watched and I didn't feel like was worth doing a full review on. It's a good place to just talk about all that stuff in one go and give you all my thoughts. So there you have it, guys. Appreciate you watching the video. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications for all future videos, and I will see ya later.